The latest from Paris as worldwide leaders gather for a UN climate change conference. New plans for Sarasota's main plaza, what investors plan to do with that retail space. And an alligator showdown will recap the match from Englewood. Your Suncoast News starts now.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news at this noon hour, nearly 200 countries have come together in Paris for the UN Climate Change Conference. And the fight on terror is at the top of the unofficial agenda there. President Obama finished speaking just a short while ago before leaving Paris. World leaders gathered in Paris to fight a war on two fronts, climate change and terrorism.
Some have asked why the world would dedicate some of our focus right now to combating climate change, even as we work to protect our people and go after terrorist networks. Climate change affects all trends.
At the UN Conference on Climate Change, philanthropists, businesses, and governments pledged $20 billion to invest in clean energy. The message reverberating. Pope Francis, traveling back from Africa, urged even greater action, saying, quote, "We are at the limits. If I may use a strong word, I would say that we are at the limits of suicide." While in Beijing, the smog is so thick, pollution levels there are 45 times beyond what is considered safe. China's president pledging Chinese cooperation on climate and in the war on terror. That threat, palpable in Paris, still reeling from the terrorist attacks that killed 130 people a little more than 2 weeks ago. Among world leaders, the fight against ISIS was as much a part of the discussion as the environment. President Obama hinting at a possible diplomatic breakthrough with Russia and Syria. In meetings with the leaders of Turkey, Russia, France, and the UK, a unified front is developing in hopes of leaving the world safer and cleaner for generations to come. Now to some news right here on the Suncoast. Another hotel may be coming to downtown Sarasota. Two developers have filed proposals with Sarasota County to build the hotel at the corner of US 301 and Main Street. A previous agreement to build a Kimpton hotel at that site was terminated by the county last year after the developer failed to meet terms prior to closing. That same Sarasota group was among the two to file fresh bids. A date for the two proposals to go before county commissioners have not yet been scheduled, but county staff said the discussion is likely to be sometime in late January. We're getting a better idea of what the new owners of Sarasota's main plaza intend to do with the downtown center. 3 Sarasota investors purchased the retail space last month for just over $18 million. The Sarasota Herald Tribune reporting the owners plan to redevelop the center in phases, first by adding retail tenants and redesigning the Main Street entrance. They also want to add more than 15,000 feet of fresh retail space on the first floor. A second phase would include rehabilitating the Hollywood 20 movie theater. The owners hope to select an architect and builder in the next 90 days to start that project. Florida's Transportation Department improving the condition of sidewalks in Bradenton. At the beginning of the year, the state started a $1.6 million project on US 41. The state upgrading traffic signals and adding new pedestrian refuge islands to safely get people across the highway. But the south end of 41 still needs safe sidewalks. The current ones stop suddenly or are completely broken up. The next phase of the project will repair and improve those areas. The sidewalk will run on US 41 from 53rd Avenue to 63rd Avenue. Lighting and drainage will also be improved at the intersection with Bayshore Gardens Parkway. It was a showdown between Englewood's most famous alligator and a challenger. Photos capturing Goliath the gator wrestling with another reptile on the fairways of Myakka Pines Golf Club. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley is live at the golf club with more on the story this afternoon. Christopher? Sorry about that. We'll try to get that audio problem fixed and get back to Christopher in Englewood. Well, the dead fish cleanup continues on Longboat Key. That town is using an emergency debris contractor to clean canals today and tomorrow. Those canals will be cleaned from Longboat Harbor south to the Bay Isles community. Crews were sent to clean up the dead fish last week, but they couldn't finish the job before the holiday weekend. Longboat Key's Public Works project manager says the amount of dead fish is much less than what was observed last week, and the cleanup should just take a day or two to complete. The fish were killed by red tide, which is a harmful algae that causes respiratory irritation in humans and serious health issues for marine life. Stinky problem there on Longboat Key. They'll get it all cleaned up, I'm sure. We're dealing with some nice weather today. No more warm weather on the Suncoast, huh?
Yeah, not too bad. We had a little bit of cloud cover this morning. That's kind of giving way to a little bit more sunshine. Drier air aloft, kind of mixing down, getting rid of some of the cloud cover. It's not too bad out there. Yeah. No real rain showers under any of those clouds. Across the region, a little bit of cloud cover giving way to a lot more sunshine. That put in about a 10% chance of maybe an isolated sprinkle or shower in inland areas today. Other than that, I really don't see much coverage issues today. We're not going to get a lot of rainfall. 81 degrees in Sarasota, Bradenton, 82 in Venice, and 82 in Punta Gorda. By the way, in terms of red tide, we've had that southeasterly wind flow, or are developing a southeasterly wind flow today and through parts of tomorrow as well. That's going to aid in taking some of the toxins that have been present in the last couple of days, especially in the air surrounding the beaches of Sarasota, Nokomis, and Venice, and kind of pushing that back out to shore. However, in the long term, over the next probably day or two, we'll start to see the wind shift to a little more southwesterly direction, and NOAA is forecasting that there will be some problem on some beaches with some of those irritants being blown back on shore. So for the next 24 hours, we are looking for temperatures that'll be pleasant enough, warm certainly, and then following that, we have a chance at seeing some rainfall and some cooler temperatures will follow. We'll talk all about that coming up in a few. Scott?
All right, John, thanks so much. A follow-up now on a Coast Guard search for a missing Englewood boater. The Coast Guard calling off its search for Jeff Reinhardt. He was reported missing by his son Friday night after he didn't return home from a boating trip. Reinhardt's boat was found Sunday off the coast of Naples. A spokesman for the Coast Guard announced the end of that search yesterday. Coast Guard crews covered more than 5,100 square nautical miles during 29 separate searches since Friday evening. Dozens gathered in Venice last night for a common message: to end the death penalty. The scene played out in nearly 2,000 cities worldwide. This get-together took place at one of the Catholic churches in Venice. Marietta Jagger Lane was the featured speaker at the Cities for Life prayer vigil at Epiphany Cathedral. Lane has every reason to be in favor of the death penalty. Her 7-year-old daughter was kidnapped and murdered back in 1973. But she's against the death penalty, saying there have to be other ways to punish someone other than taking their life.
I wanted to honor her by something more noble and honorable and beautiful than a cold-blooded, premeditated, state-sanctioned killing. I feel that what I'm doing honors her memory instead of taking on the mindset of the person who took her life by asking for the death penalty. I would never do that.
In Florida, there have been 2 executions this year so far compared to 8 last year. But people like Lane say they will not stop pushing hard against the death penalty until there are no more executions. A drug trafficking investigation leads to the arrest of 4 men in Sarasota, including one man who investigators say hid heroin in his groin area. Sheriff's detectives say they found nearly 21 grams of methamphetamine, drug paraphernalia, and cash in Alan Tarvin's room at the Inn Hotel on Friday night. Tarvin and Michael Regal were both charged with trafficking in meth. Detectives also arresting 2 other men who they say showed up to buy drugs. Deputies say they found this when booking Tarvin into jail. It was a large bag in his pants that was filled with heroin. He was additionally charged with trafficking in heroin. Also, a woman and 2 teenagers from Orlando are accused of some illegal shopping at the UTC Mall on Black Friday. 27-year-old Sina Howell and 2 teenagers were charged with using counterfeit bills. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies say the 3 used several fake $100 bills to buy handbags at Macy's. Detectives say they also found additional merchandise in the car that was bought at the Target on Fruitville Road. More charges could be coming as authorities believe this trio may have used counterfeit bills at several other Sarasota area stores. A Manatee County School Board member will not run for re-election next year. Bob Goss was first elected to the seat back in 2006 and recently finished serving a 1-year term as chair of the board. The Bradenton Herald reporting while Goss is not completely closing the door on public service, he wants to put more focus on his business and his family. Well, let's get back now to Englewood, where the most famous alligator called Goliath had a little challenger yesterday on the golf course. Let's get live to Myakka Pines Golf Club. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley joins us again from there with more. Christopher?
Well, good afternoon, Scott. Hopefully you can hear me this time. Apologize for the audio issues before. Several people witnessed Goliath out on the golf course the other day, tangled up with a smaller alligator as they played around. It seems Goliath really only makes news as it appears on the court. In the past, the huge reptile drew lots of looks as it took a stroll on the course, startling golfers, and another time when it ate a huge turtle. Right now, we're doing our live shot from the clubhouse, but in just a short while, the staff is going to take us out onto the course to go on the hunt to find Goliath. But, Scott, we will be keeping a reasonable distance.
Can't blame you a bit. He's a really big gator. All right, and we'll see more on that report beginning in our evening newscast at 5 o'clock this evening. Time now to get over to the kitchen, check in with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, who has a guest from Gold Rush Barbecue in Venice. Hi, Judy.
Well, hi there. I'm really excited to be with Bob. We often joke he's on when I'm off, so we said we're going to team up together. I love Gold Rush Barbecue down in Venice, and you have a great idea for holiday entertaining for this dish that can go with anything from your ribs to ham and turkey. Tell us what you're making today.
Well, this actually is a side dish that we just started today at Gold Rush. It's a golden baked pineapple and cheese. So it's very simple, but it's basically taking that pineapple that's usually on top of the ham and turning it into an awesome side dish.
Sounds perfect, and we'll be back to start cooking in just a few minutes.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct prices.
Plus, New South windows are made in Florida.
Ford Florida Home.
By Florida workers.
Because we know Florida weather.
Right now, buy 2 windows, get the 3rd free, plus our lifetime warranty. New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, the season of sharing lasts all year. Buying a new Subaru means you'll have more time to share with your new vehicle. Choosing a Subaru could even mean more time to share with the ones you love. And the Subaru Forester shares more accumulated awards than any other small SUV on the road. Lease a new Subaru Forester for as little as $224 a month during the Subaru Share the Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits in the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
When the going gets tough, they get tougher.
I came here to play. I'm going to go for it.
This week on Millionaire.
Tonight at 7:30 on ABC 7. Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're still running hot and humid. We have 81-degree temperature and a dew point of almost 70, so it feels pretty sticky out there. We did not hit the all-time November record for warm temperatures yesterday. We came close. We were second in all-time warm Novembers, but we were about 0.7 degrees away from setting the record. In any event, calm winds currently out there. We'll shift a little bit more to the west this afternoon. We may get a isolated shower build in response to a bit of a sea breeze this afternoon. And tomorrow, we're more likely to see the winds just generally shift out of the southwest as we watch a front begin to approach the state of Florida. 80 in Wauchula, 81 in Myakka, 81 in Arcadia. We have double 82s in Northport and Punta Gorda and along the coastline. 82 degrees in Venice, 81 in Inglewood, Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton, and Longboat Key comes in at 78 degrees. So across the nation right now, we have a lot of rain shower activity in progress from really the Louisiana Delta region all the way up toward the mid-Atlantic. There is, in fact, some flooding rains possible here, and there are some flood watches up for parts of the Virginias and also parts of North Carolina still. And there will be some river flooding there, no doubt, as the basins start to drain. We're watching some showery activity, snow showery activity to the north in the northern tier. Nebraska got some reports of 6-inch snowfalls over the last 30 hours or so, and most places seeing 2 to 3-inch snowfalls. That's part of a low-pressure area that's lifting north, and as it does so, takes this cold front and slowly sinks it southward. But right now, it's continuing to move very slowly, and consequently, the showers are really coming in over the same place time and time again, wave after wave, and that's exacerbating the flooding issue in parts of the Delmarva, stretching back into Kentucky and Tennessee and eventually exiting around the Louisiana Delta region. Showers will gradually drift in this direction, but as I said, it'll probably take till about Thursday before that front actually makes it here. In the meantime, southeast wind is developing. That southeast wind taking some showers in the southern tip of the state and trying to bring them back in this direction. As the atmosphere continues to moisten, as the winds begin to shift to a more southwesterly direction, might see a few popping up in inland areas, though right now everything's quiet on radar. A plume of moisture exists in the jet stream, wrapping around an area of low pressure. That low pressure area gradually drifting off to the north and to the east, but this frontal boundary, which is wound up, is very slow to move. The front will probably advance into the southernmost parts of the deep south over the course of the next 24 hours or so. Then about 48 hours from now, start to enter into Florida, and by Thursday, bring us our best chance of rainfall this week. Even so, the rain chance will probably only be about 40% as the front tends to break apart as it sinks south. Warm and humid this afternoon, isolated shower tomorrow, and cooler. Now, there is some cold air in parts of the country, no doubt about that. 23 in Billings, 34 in Denver, 39 in Kansas City, but it's sliding east, not necessarily sinking south. We still have the warmest temperatures in the nation over the state of Florida. Watch those winds shift today, west becoming northeast eventually, and then southwest, I think, by tomorrow. We have, by Thursday, a 40% chance of rain, and then some slightly cooler temperatures filtering in time for the weekend. Scott?
We'll take those. All right, John, thank you. Contracts between Manatee County and local hospitals may be approved later today. The contracts will provide care for the county's indigent population. The county and local hospitals have been going back and forth on the legal terms of the contracts. The deals would be for 1 year at Manatee Memorial Hospital, MCR Health Services, and Blake Medical Center. Most of those expired in September, making this the first time in 30 years that Manatee County doesn't have a contract with the hospital to provide indigent health care. State investigators ruling they found no evidence Planned Parenthood in Florida purchased or sold human organs or tissue. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement inspected 16 Planned Parenthood facilities in August and reported that 3 clinics were illegally performing second trimester abortions. Planned Parenthood representatives say the abortions were performed during the first trimester and that state officials were changing trimester definitions. The organization's executive director says it does not offer tissue donation services here in Florida. What happens when you don't sleep enough? An ABC News medical editor stayed up 50 straight hours to see what kind of effect that would have on his mind and body. With more in the story, here's ABC 7's Alex Redmond.
We're a nation running on empty. Up to 70 million Americans are not getting enough sleep every night. Just one night of bad sleep can lead to problems concentrating and, more seriously, accidents like car crashes. So we wanted to put the human body to an extreme sleep test to find out how it would react.
It's quite likely that I'll start to lose it a little bit.
Under the supervision of doctors at Mount Sinai Center for Sleep Medicine, ABC News' Dan Childs stayed awake for 50 hours. He wanted to find out firsthand the effects of sleep deprivation on things like concentration, coordination, and the ability to complete basic tasks. The rules were simple. Dan was not allowed a wink of sleep or a sip of caffeine.
When you sleep deprive humans, they eat more.
Dan craved carbs like cereal and pie and forced himself to be active to stay awake.
This Lego is apparently for ages 6 to 12. I've kind of gotten lost in the instructions.
Dan worked out and found that his body was much more awake after exercising, but his low points came in the morning hours. After being awake for 50 hours, Dan was disoriented and unable to complete simple tasks, not to mention utterly exhausted.
Probably have a couple of hours left in me, and then we'll see what happens.
For ABC 7, I'm Alex Redmond, your Suncoast News.
We've all had days like that, haven't we? Thousands around the world are wearing red today for World AIDS Day. A large white ribbon was placed in front of the White House in observance of the day. This year's theme is "The Time to Act is Now." Also, there's a social media hashtag, #RethinkHIV, encouraging people to raise awareness about HIV through bake sales or other community events. AIDS has been on the rise here in Florida. About 5,100 new cases were reported in the first 9 months of this year. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a legendary broadcaster will forever have ties with the Suncoast. We'll catch up with a Hall of Famer right after this.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
This is an important medical warning. The FDA has issued a public health advisory for all people taking the type 2 diabetes drug Invokana. The warning states that Invokana may lead to diabetic ketoacidosis, a serious condition where the body produces high levels of blood acids called ketones that may require hospitalization. If you or a loved one have taken Invokana and have been diagnosed with kidney failure or hospitalized with ketoacidosis, call the law offices of Jacoby and Myers today. Invokana may also cause other forms of liver damage. In more severe cases, Invokana has led to organ failure, coma, and even death. At the law offices of Jacoby and Myers, we've been bringing compassion and experience to our clients for over 40 years. You may be entitled to significant compensation for all of the injuries and damage that Invokana has caused you and your loved ones. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled.
Please call 800-671-1361.
Since 1928, Karastan has been setting the standard in carpets and rugs, producing non-allergenic wools that won't promote the growth of bacteria or dust mites like other carpets will. Karastan wools actively remove contaminants from the indoor air, making your home healthier. And there are many colors and patterns and textures to choose from. Come see for yourself.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
At BatteriesPlus.com, you can easily order LED light bulbs for lamps, can lights, specialty bulbs for appliances, plus batteries for motorcycles, cars, smartphones, watches, car remotes, you name it. We carry thousands of batteries and bulbs in our stores, so just choose Pickup in Store, and we'll have your order ready when you drop in. We also repair smartphones. Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus.
Hi, I'm Scott Bush, CEO of Suncoast Blood Bank and a 12-gallon donor. Crisis struck close to home in my family last year when my 5-year-old nephew, Evan, was diagnosed with cancer. Evan needed the life-saving gift of platelets. You can save lives by donating platelets. You never know when someone you love might need this precious gift.
To find a Suncoast Donor Center or Bloodmobile near you, call 1-866-97-BLOOD or visit scbb.org. Live here, give here, stays here.
1,500 of the best junior tennis players in the world are on the Suncoast this week, playing in the annual Eddie Herr tournament at IMG Academies. We caught up with some of the players warming up at the nearby United Tennis Academy. The club is one of many Bradenton area businesses that are benefiting from the players, coaches, and families who have traveled here this week. One of the tennis mothers is Hall of Famer Hanna Mandlikova, who says the tournament is a huge boost for the Suncoast.
Yeah, but I still think that they bring lots of money and lots of new people, international people, and I think it's great for the community.
But it also brings a lot of interest to the area, perhaps settling down here.
Area restaurants also report a big rise in business this week due to the annual junior tournament. The Cincinnati Reds left Sarasota about 5 years ago, but their Hall of Fame broadcaster still has his heart here on the Suncoast. ABC 7's Don Brennan caught up with him recently.
Yeah, Scott, definitely. Marty Brennaman loved it here. Yeah. He was devastated when they left, but over a Hall of Fame career that spanned 5 decades, he's learned to roll with the punches.
Swung on, long shot, into deep left field. Rose is back, and that ball is gone. A home run. Henry Aaron has just tied Babe Ruth's home run record of 714.
That was the first inning of the very first game Marty Brennaman ever called for the Cincinnati Reds, opening day 1974.
I'm semi-conscious anyway because I'm overwhelmed by the crowd. I got through the call, and in retrospect, I felt like it was not too bad for a young guy in his first big league game.
Soon after that moment, his broadcast partner, veteran Joe Nuxhall, asked Marty a very poignant question.
Nuxhall turns to me and he said, I don't believe it. I said, he said, what are you going to do for an encore now? He said, you start off with Aaron's record-tying home run.
Marty did have an encore, however, a 42-year Hall of Fame career, and they've all been with the Reds. He has called some of the most memorable moments, and he's still going strong.
Shao kicks and he fires. Rose swings. There it is! There it is! Get out! Get out! All right! Hit number 4192. A line drive.
He'll look back at the great moments, the controversial moments, and in the end, proud to have done it his way and in one place.
I love the city of Cincinnati. The city of Cincinnati has been good to me. I'm going to be very prideful of the fact that I will end it exactly where I started.
He finds it hard to believe that a stretch like his or his contemporaries will happen again.
I don't know that young guys would be willing to stay in one city for that long.
One of the young broadcasters he's talking about is Tom Brennaman, his son, and Reds owner Bob Castellini had it in his mind to get the two working together.
God bless him, he jumped through a lot of hoops. Bob did personally to get the Diamondback ownership to allow Tom to get out of his contract. He came back, and he's thrilled to be home.
His sign-off after a Reds win speaks volumes.
And this one belongs to the Reds.
Because in Marty Brennaman, this one does in fact belong to the Reds, and only the Reds. And Marty says his heart will always remain here on the Suncoast, especially Siesta Key, where he lives when he can. He stops by there. And thanks to Dave Stewart at Captain Kurtz, who has really has a pipeline of famous people. He knows everybody, and Marty's a friend of his, so Marty was nice enough to sit down with me, and it was just such an educational thing. I mean, it's just McCarver or these guys, you hear their voice and it brings you right back to the spot, and he did the 75 World Series, which was only his second year. Here he is working with Kurt Gowdy and, Tony Kubek and all these guys in an iconic World Series.
Just in time he got there for the Big Red Machine.
Yeah, and he's still going strong, and he looks great.
Yeah. He does? All right. We'll listen for years to come, I hope.
Yes.
Donnie, thank you so much. Let's get back to the kitchen now. Chef Judy is there today with Chef Bob from Gold Rush Barbecue in Venice.
And we're talking a pineapple cheese bake, so let's get started, Bob.
Absolutely. I wanted to real quick talk about our apple harvest spare ribs because we shared the recipe with the viewers a while back, but didn't really bring them on the show. And also to remind them that, barbecue sauce is something you can really have fun with. Don't be afraid to add jellies or jams or fun spices. This is a big hit at Gold Rush. It's a gooey, stick to the rib, fun sauce. So,
well, I'm going to try one while you start cooking,
right
so take it away, and I'll see how ooey gooey it can be.
These are very simple ingredients. It's canned pineapple, a little bit of the juice from the pineapple, cheddar cheese, sharp is best, Ritz crackers, who doesn't love those, some salt, some flour to give it some stiffness, and some melted butter. So you just start with the pineapple, drained.
Can you do fresh pineapple if you want, a little can of pineapple juice?
You could, but I love the way this bakes down pretty easily.
It adds
so
the
to make
extra
it simple,
moisture, right?
But again, fresh pineapple, why not? And then a cup of sugar.
Okay.
In there, and then you want to give that just a little turn around just to coat that pineapple.
This sounds like it's going to be such a great dish, whether it's Hanukkah or Christmas or bringing it for a New Year's brunch, right?
Exactly, or even a Hawaiian-themed pool party. I mean, in Florida, we can barbecue all year round, so a baked pineapple dish with pork, chicken.
I'm doing it. Now, that was about how much of flour?
This is actually 6 tablespoons of flour and a cup of sugar. So get that going a little bit. And then we're just going to put it right in a pan.
Oh, this is so easy. This
you know what?
Yep.
Simple, simple.
I love it. Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to spread it out a little bit.
Okay, coat the bottom.
That's right.
And yep, you can see it's already made that thickening.
And then we're going to take some cheddar cheese.
Okay, you say cheddar cheese, I say I'm in. I don't care what, it could be on tree bark, I'm
you
in.
Just can't beat that. Okay, so now part 2.
Okay.
Here comes the good stuff.
Part 1.
You're going to take some Ritz crackers. This is actually, one sleeve, 1 cup of Ritz crackers.
Okay, oh, good to remember, okay.
A little bit of that juice that we saved from the canned pineapple. And some melted butter.
Oh, because we need the melted butter. And I'm so excited about the other day, I noticed that the Kerrygold is now in sticks. So it's easier for baking. And
That's a very good quality butter. Go ahead and use that. But, it gives this Ritz cracker even more richness.
Oh, my gosh.
And also ensures you're going to get a nice, beautiful
This
golden
is like
color
New
to
England
it.
because we do the Ritz cracker and butter on top of baked cod. So this is in haddock. So it's that same like we use Ritz crackers for everything, only making this luscious. And this could be a dessert or a side dish, you think?
Well, it could be, but it's really great. The thing that I love about it is when I was testing it at Gold Rush, I really want people to take a little bit of the sauce, some of that pork, and this bite at the same time.
I think it's brilliant.
Really
I can tell you.
Flavor.
What temperature in the oven?
This is going to go on 350 for about 35 minutes.
Okay.
And then, you know how the magic is around here.
I know.
35 minutes goes pretty quick,
It
right?
does. Man, I can't believe we've been on that long. I'm exhausted. I worked up an appetite.
We are ready. Look at that.
We have about 30 seconds, and you've nailed it. Do we need to let it cool to a certain temperature for a little bit?
It can be hot. It can be room temperature. I just want to dig right in and get it going.
You're my kind of man. Oh my gosh! And I'm gonna put my rib. I'm gonna put my rib right there.
Yeah.
Now, I want to remind you, you can find this recipe and so much more simply by going on mysuncoast.com and click on the dining page. You'll get to see information about Gold Rush Barbecue, the recipe, and my eating it so wonderfully. Thanks, Bob.
I hope you enjoy it.
Oh my gosh. It's perfect.
Yum.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. With 70 standard and available safety features, including options like blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning, lane sense lane departure warning, and all-wheel drive. The capability you need now comes with the style and personality you want.
More style, more personality, all for less. Go to Sunset Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
I'm Ed Kalin. Welcome to Kalin's Furniture.
Welcome to Kalin's Furniture. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with today.
Hi, welcome to Kalin's Furniture.
Hi, welcome to Kalin's Furniture.
Stop by Kalin's Furniture today for great customer service and high-quality home furnishings at affordable prices.
Hi, welcome to Kalin's Furniture.
Our family is proud to have been serving Sarasota for over 65 years.
Your dreams, your style, our focus.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today. Need a longer lasting bulb? Batteries Plus bulbs has a huge selection of LEDs starting at just $2.99. Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus.
Now get the new Ford you want with no hassle and no negotiating necessary. It's the Friends and Neighbors pricing event at Sarasota Ford. Shop over 500 new Fords on-site or online. And the one low price you see is the price you pay. 16 Ford Fusion SE, just $17,995 or $189 a month. A new F-150 Super Crew XLT from $28,795. Plus, buy new Fords and don't pay a thing till spring. Think of it as an inside deal from your friends at Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. Visit SarasotaFord.com.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back now to the accused Planned Parenthood killer going before a judge for the first time yesterday. Investigators are still searching the crime scene in Colorado. ABC 7's Rebecca Vargas has the latest.
For the first time since the Planned Parenthood attack.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Robert Deere faced a judge in handcuffs wearing a jail-issued smock designed to keep him from hurting himself.
Do you have any questions?
No question. His alleged 5-hour rampage in Colorado Springs Friday left 3 people dead, 9 injured.
Minimum of life in prison and maximum of death.
The hearing provided few new clues about the alleged gunman's motives or his mental state, but after his arrest, law enforcement sources say he railed against Planned Parenthood and made potential threats against President Obama. Police and FBI agents are still combing through the crime scene, and sources say this is the pickup truck Deere allegedly drove to Planned Parenthood that day, carrying a duffel bag full of handguns and AK-style rifles.
Hard to believe. Take a long time to sink in. As far as her being shot and gone.
Friends and family are struggling with the deaths of Jennifer Markovsky, a mother of 2, and Army vet Karar Stewart, both at the clinic that day with friends. At the same moment Deere was in court, officers were standing at attention for Garrett Swayze. A procession carrying the fallen officer right past the very jail holding his accused killer. For ABC 7, Rebecca Vargas, your Suncoast News.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie now one of Donald Trump's latest targets after picking up a key endorsement from a New Hampshire newspaper. But Christie is turning the negative attention back on Trump, saying Trump's recent comments about Muslims in New Jersey celebrating on September 11th are just wrong.
He's now doubled down and tripled down that he saw thousands of Muslims celebrating after 9/11 in Jersey City. Then he says from 4 miles away in his office, he could see people jumping from the World Trade Center. Do you believe that either of those things happened?
No. All I know are the facts, that what went on that day in New Jersey was not anything like what he said, and there's no film or video of it to prove it. He says he saw it on TV. It didn't happen.
Christie also blasted Trump for appearing to mock a reporter who was disabled. The New Jersey governor says making fun of people with disability is not worthy of someone running for president. Speaking of Trump, the candidate says he should charge CNN for his next debate appearance. He joked about the charges last night during a rally in Macon, Georgia. He suggested he would demand CNN pay $5 million for him to appear in the next debate. Trump says he'd give the money to programs that help veterans. The next Republican debate, by the way, is set for December 15th. Some parts of the country already bracing for the first major snowfall of the season. Parts of the central U.S. experienced a dangerous ice storm that killed 14 people over the holiday weekend. The storm has created dangerous driving conditions in the upper Midwest. The ice is now melting, but more than 74,000 people still don't have electricity at last check. Big storm system is sort of taking its time through the U.S., huh?
Yeah, it sure is. It's really not being pushed too terribly fast most anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That's when the weather kind of piles up on certain locations, and that's certainly what's happened in parts of North Carolina. Eventually it'll get here, though, bring us a chance at some rainfall, which will be nice. Can use a little bit of rainfall around here, and some slightly cooler temperatures as well. It'll probably cloud things up. So this beautiful shot from yesterday in Venice, Barbara, thank you for sending this in, probably will not be duplicated tomorrow because the clouds will start to kind of cloud up the atmosphere a little bit and bring us a better chance of some rainfall. Even today, if you look at our Venice webcam and put it into motion, you can see the cloud cover that kind of rolled in. thin layer of clouds, and certainly there's drier air aloft that has kind of poked through from time to time. So there is some sunshine out there, but more clouds around today than there was yesterday. And that in part is because the atmosphere is a little juicier, kind of a little bit more primed for a few showers. And with temperatures inland in the 80s already, it's certainly possible that you could get an isolated sprinkle or a shower, but not a very big rain chance. Rain chance only at about 10% or so. As we head into the afternoon, daytime highs will top out well above average once again. As we head into the next couple of days, though, we'll start to see those temperatures lower just a little bit. We'll talk all about that coming up in a few, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. It's decision day for a big project in Orlando. Today, the Orange County Commission will decide the fate of Orlando's Skyplex project. The group is set to vote on whether to grant zoning approval for the 570-foot-tall roller coaster, which would make it the world's tallest. Universal Orlando is against the plan, saying the coaster is just too tall and would change the culture of local tourism. The Skyplex developer believes Universal is just being fearful of competition. Sarasota County Area Transit wants to hear from its customers about how it can improve. SCAT will host 2 open house workshops to get feedback from the public as part of its comprehensive operations analysis. Residents can stop by, give their opinions on how to improve routes and services. The first workshop will be next Tuesday, December 8th at the Sarasota County Administration Center. That begins at 5. The second will happen Wednesday, December 9th at the Venice Community Center. That starts at 3 p.m. Coming up in your Suncoast News, ABC 7 is giving back. Find out how you can join us in helping those in need here on the Suncoast. That's next.
It's the ultimate Altima grand opening giveaway from Nissan of Venice. Register to win a new 2016 Nissan Altima today. Plus, save on new 2015 Nissan Sentra from $139 a month. Visit us 24/7 at nissanofvenice.com. Dial ** Nissan from your mobile phone for Nissan of Venice. Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Attention. This is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or even death. At the law offices of Jacoby & Myers, we've been bringing compassion and experience to our clients for over 40 years. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call Jacoby & Myers today. You may be entitled to compensation. Our firm has decades of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Call the law offices of Jacoby & Myers now for a free confidential consultation. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled.
Please call 800-897-6764.
Here's what's coming up tonight on ABC 7.
It's the ultimate Altima grand opening giveaway from Nissan of Venice. Register to win a new 2016 Nissan Altima today. Drive a new 2015 Nissan Altima from $189 a month or a 2015 Nissan Rogue from $179 a month. Shop 24/7 at nissanofvenice.com. Dial ** Nissan from your mobile phone for Nissan of Venice.
Dew point is pretty high right now, and I think it'll even get higher. It'll probably be back up into the 70s, which is very warm for this time of year to get a dew point that high. And then with an air temperature of 81, feels very sticky. Mix of sun and clouds out there currently. We have temperatures that are already, as I mentioned, in inland areas, cracking the 80 mark with 83 in Northport, 82 in Arcadia, Mayaca, Lakewood Ranch. Closer to the coastline, closer to the upper 70s to lower 80s. So we could get a bit of a sea breeze circulation build today. And if we get a little bit of that going on, we could see an isolated shower or two as well. There's more than an isolated shower in some parts of the country, though. I tell you, it is falling in buckets in some places around the Delmarva, stretching on up into New York. Now we have some ice beginning to occur in down east Maine, parts of New Hampshire, upstate Vermont, also upstate New York, even seeing a little bit of icy conditions there. Most of it falling as rainfall, though, all the way down this frontal boundary. And then it kind of wraps up in an occluded front around an area of low pressure in the western Great Lakes. That low pressure area tracking off to the north and to the east, producing snow showers back behind it and some of that colder air. And there is certainly some colder air in parts of the country. But for us, things are pretty quiet. We are developing a little bit more of a southeasterly wind flow today, helping to bring the moisture back across the peninsula full force. And tomorrow, I think we'll probably even develop more of a southwesterly wind flow. And that certainly will maybe trigger off a shower, too. Might have a little bit of drizzle popping up now. Or that might be false echo. Looks more like false echo to me right now. High pressure, the dominant weather feature, nosing in across parts of the deep south and the Florida peninsula, keeping us pretty much rain-free today. From about the Atlanta area northward into the Ohio Valley, you start to get some rain showers, but I think Atlanta might see a little bit more rainfall tomorrow as that front begins to approach. Could be even some airport delays at the Atlanta airport tomorrow, even though it's pretty quiet today. So is the Raleigh-Durham airport and the Charlotte airport, but tomorrow there may be some more showers around, some more low-base clouds that could delay air traffic just a little bit. That frontal boundary approaches on Thursday, and that's when our rain chance will be the highest. I think we'll have a pretty decent chance at coverage across the entire viewing area. I think inland and coastal regions will have about the same chance, but the chance is only about 40%. Confidence is kind of low because as that front sinks south, it's going to tend to fall apart just a little bit. So warm and humid this afternoon, isolated showers tomorrow, and then once that front moves through in a very weak and kind of diffuse fashion, we'll start to see some slightly cooler temperatures by about 5 degrees or so as we head into Thursday, Friday, and the weekend, too. The weekend may warm up just a little bit, though. We'll watch, as I mentioned, snowfall accumulations in the western Great Lakes approaching the 6-inch mark in some locations. So it's not a terribly big snowstorm right now, not like it was. West wind coming in at about 5 knots this evening. Northeast wind overnight tonight at about 10 knots. And the official Suncoast forecast calls for, as I mentioned, about a 40% chance of showers on Thursday. And then kind of clearing out, sun comes back out, and we have temperatures that'll be in the upper 70s for the weekend, and lower relative humidity. Looks like it's going to be an absolutely spectacular weekend ahead. Scott?
Awesome. Thank you, John. You've heard the saying, your home is your castle, and we have a story now about a man who built his own. He broke all the rules in construction, but that home still stands today. ABC 7's Linda Carson has the story.
Diana Harris's home is built of the pieces of a shipwreck.
During the 26 hurricane, a Cuban sailing smack sank off of Minnesota Key. And the only thing that was visible was a big, tall mast that stuck out of the water.
A man known as Mr. Buchanan salvaged some of the wreck to build himself a house.
He was the manager of a small little beach place out on Minnesota Key, and after the hurricane he started picking up bits and pieces and evidently had bought this property, which is an acre, and decided that he wanted to build a house here.
He had a unique way of moving it there.
He also was said to have owned a very large open Packard car, very spiffy car for those days. And he would pile all the pieces of wood into the back of the Packard, and basically there was no road on Minnesota Key at that time, so it must have been difficult to get the car up and down the key.
After Diana bought this house, she discovered more about the man who had built it.
He had been a reporter for the London Times. He at one time had served in the army in India and had lost part of his arm.
But he did manage to build this house.
The supports in that room are 4 masts off of the ship. One still has the iron rigging on it. And then the bedroom is a round room, a water tank off of a sailing ship.
The room's main support is a gooseneck boom. Mr. Buchanan's wife, Mary, had been a big-time opera singer in Europe.
In her later years had become quite deaf and didn't realize always how loud she was singing.
Inglewood residents could hear her for miles. Then Mr. Buchanan died.
She didn't have any money, and L.A. Angel once again told me that she hired somebody to row him out to sea, and they buried him at sea. She came home, packed a bag, and left, never to return again.
However, strange sounds continued to come from the shipwreck house.
People in the neighborhood would be awakened at night by somebody a soprano voice, very loud, singing the scales.
From the Shipwreck House in Inglewood, Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Linda, thank you. Diana's house is made of wood, and usually that would mean a termite problem, but she says since it's been so many years saturated by seawater, she says termites are not a problem. So we've had Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Now we are on to Giving Tuesday. It's an idea that was spearheaded by a New York nonprofit in 2012, encouraging people to give back rather than consume. And the Community Foundation of Sarasota is now joining in. They plan to match all donations up to $100,000 as part of a holiday fundraiser called Season of Giving. That campaign targets agencies supporting homelessness or those on the verge of that in Sarasota, Manatee, Charlotte, and DeSoto counties. And you can pitch in and help feed hungry Suncoast pets for the holidays as well. The Animal Network is teaming up with Manatee County Animal Services and Manatee United for Pets for a pet food drive. It starts today. It lasts till December 22nd. New unopened bags and cans of dog and cat food are needed. The food will go to needy families so that they can keep their pets healthy and happy. Collection bins can be found at the following locations: Ace Hardware stores in Lakewood Ranch, Harbor Community Bank branches, and Bayshore Animal Hospital in Bradenton. Here at ABC7, we're working with the Salvation Army to help those in need again this year. On Thanksgiving, we kicked off our 2015 Angel Tree campaign to collect gifts for children and seniors in need this holiday season. Anyone interested in taking part can pick up an Angel Tree tag here at our station or at Sunset Kia dealerships in Sarasota, Bradenton, or Venice. Each tag will have a list of what a local child or senior citizen would like for the holidays. You can drop off those gifts here again at ABC7 or the dealerships, and we will give them all to the Salvation Army to be handed out. The last day of the campaign coming up on December 14th. Stay with us. Entertainment news is next.
The Holiday Millionaire Raffle is back with the best odds to win $1 million on New Year's Eve.
Plus, they're giving away money every week.
Honey, you have to try this.
And with so few tickets available,
Holiday Millionaire Raffle tickets are going fast. Come on!
You won't want anyone to know about it. Get your Holiday Millionaire Raffle ticket today.
Nothing to see here.
The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Get Black Friday pricing all month long during the Black Friday Blockbuster Sales Event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota, where you'll always get better prices and a bigger selection. We've got the area's largest selection of new Wranglers. Come in today and get a 2016 Jeep Patriot for just $15,999, or save over $4,000 on a new Jeep Cherokee. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Did you know Sleep King Sarasota has the best selection of Simmons Beauty Rest foam and latex mattresses? Sleep on luxury with the new Simmons Beauty Rest, full or queen size, only $499. Take it, Larry.
Buy a mattress today, sleep on it tonight. Free same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Only at Sleep King.
Come in for a 2-hour free nap. Only at Sleep King in Sarasota.
You can help make the wishes of Suncoast children and seniors come true this holiday season. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. Join ABC7 and share your good fortune by becoming a Salvation Army Angel.
Just stop by ABC 7 or Sunset Kia in Sarasota, Bradenton, or Venice to pick up an Angel Tree gift tag. It will tell you what a local child or senior citizen is wishing for this holiday season.
Thanks for your generosity and happy holidays from ABC 7.
Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I'm Alan Cohn. The heavy toll of concussions as trauma claims the life of football greats. We investigate what is being done to keep players safe.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
In entertainment news, Brad Pitt may be surrounded by famous faces in the new movie called The Big Short, but at home, the father of 6 wants to be surrounded by more kids. Pitt tells The Telegraph that he and wife Angelina Jolie aim to have 12 children, but they stop short when they reach the halfway mark. His movie, The Big Short, comes out later this month. CMT is honoring a television show on another network, an ABC show, in fact. The Country Music Channel is giving ABC drama Nashville the first ever International Impact Award. CMT's president says Nashville has become an international ambassador for country music. Artist Kelly Pickler will present the award to the Nashville cast on its Live Artist of the Year special on Wednesday. Speaking of stars, J.J. Abrams wants the new Star Wars films to be more than just a boy thing. The director of the upcoming 7th film in the franchise spoke to Good Morning America about his hopes for The Force Awakens.
Star Wars was always about, it was always a boys thing and a movie that dads could take their sons to. And though that's still very much the case, I was really hoping this could be a movie that mothers take their daughters to as well. So I'm looking forward to, to kids seeing this movie and seeing themselves in it.
Star Wars The Force Awakens hits theaters in a little over 2 weeks. The stars have aligned for John Legend's new holiday tune. The singer wrote the song called Under the Stars using actual recordings of stars. He tells People magazine that scientists have been recording the vibrations of stars and they put that into the song. The tune was written for the Stella Artois Give Beautifully Holiday campaign. That's pretty neat, huh?
Yeah, that is kind of cool. Look forward to hearing
Celestial
that.
Sounds, yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of noise going on up there, I guess,
yeah.
It's kind of cool. Even meteorites, I guess, can make noise. The website, you can go on and listen to that. They're really pretty sounds, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of like little pings.
Right.
Neat. A little chance of showers today, better chance tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you for joining us. See you at 5.
Mom needed more care than we could provide, so we called Granny Nannies. She now has around-the-clock caregivers, and we have peace of mind. Thanks to them, she's where she belongs, at home.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Christmas Tradition by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
We are getting into the holiday spirit. I'm Stephanie Roberts. Coming up on Suncoast View, do you prefer real or fake? A Christmas tree expert will be here to help us understand different types of live Christmas trees. Classic Christmas sounds come alive with the West Coast Black Theater Troupe. They'll sing Motown Christmas for us, and we'll learn how to make bread pudding.
Today at 4 on ABC7 Suncoast View. Smart, fun talk that's everything Suncoast.
The holidays are coming, so we've got 4 jolly make-ahead dishes.
What's wrong with little Timmy? He had too many handfuls of the mix.
Then Peter Walsh declutters the decorations. Next, Rachel.
Today at 3 on ABC7.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to cross home plate in front of a cheering crowd at a Major League ballpark? I'm Max Swinitz, and you can find out by joining Save Our Seabirds, the Baltimore Orioles, and ABC7 for Run for the Birds, December 12th at Ed Smith Stadium. The 5K and 1 mile fun run will end at home plate and will be followed by a festival with live music, food, and fun. Proceeds benefit Save Our Seabirds, whose mission is to rescue and rehabilitate sick and injured birds. Register today at raceroster.com.
At Granny Nannies, we provide your loved ones with the care they deserve, compassionate and experienced help right where you need it most, at home. Visit us at grannynannies.com.
A